Hello, everyone. How are y'all doing? This is my final talk in the series I've been doing on public speaking and business. And let me tell you, I've had a phenomenal time. I've spoken with so many brilliant women, so many business ladies, so many entrepreneurs, women who are just doing the thing with their businesses in their fields. And I just thought it was so important to bring us together to show how communication and public speaking is so important. People take it for granted, and really being able to speak and effectively share your message and being able to even persuade is such needed tools in successfully having a business, and not just even in a business but with your work, your career, your family life, community, church. It doesn't matter. We all need to be able to effectively communicate. And the reason why I'm so amped about it and so excited, because I did this series as a kickoff to my Speakers Boot Camp that actually launches tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will meet virtually for an hour, and I will have my Speakers Boot Camp, and we will talk about all things public speaking. And it's going to be for 4 weeks. So for every Wednesday for the next 4 weeks, we will be having this boot camp. And I really want you all to sign up. And even if you don't need help with public speaking or communicating, I'm sure you know somebody who you can refer this information to. So I definitely want you all to sign up, because it's definitely going to be well worth it. And without further ado, I want to introduce Miss Dricka Carter. She is definitely a phenomenal woman, and I want her to share with you all her businesses and what she has going on.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I am, of course, Miss Dricka Carter. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm a mother. I'm a wife of two. I'm a mother of two beautiful daughters. I'm a wife of one, of course. And of course, I've been married for 10 years this year. I've been a full-time entrepreneur since 2018. Just a little background about me. I lost my last corporate job, it forced me to not have a plan B. And so I went full throttle with my businesses, which were side hustles at the time. I had a bakery at the time, a home-based bakery, and then we, grew into a storefront. And then I also had my wonderful, wonderful tax company, wealth development firm, Carter Capital, which is the only 24-hour wealth development firm and institute. So with that being said, we offer accounting, bookkeeping, credit solutions, and counseling, and we also offer financial services and tax preparation for business owners and individuals. And then also from that income, it helped me pivot into opening a tax brokerage where I help and license entrepreneurs and accountants who want to start or grow their own tax firms using our software, which is really user friendly. You can, grow it however small or big you want your business to be. You can start a tax business from home, just working with me and my software and my training, ongoing mentorship, and also with my personal brand that started about 2 years ago. I mentor entrepreneurs and also help them to develop personal and professionally. So it's a great topic of us merging public speaking with business, because a lot of times people feel like I'm just a business owner, I'm not a public speaker. And we heard that a little bit the other day when we was at the brunch. And so I wanted to encourage anybody that feels like, oh, I'm just a business owner, I'm not a public speaker. Yes, you are. You have to be. You have to be the spokesperson for your business. So that's how my personal brand kind of got developed, because I was always at the forefront of the business, and I kind of had to separate my bookings from me just being the CEO of these different businesses. And also from that, we started investing into real estate, which I've been kind of like in the property management stage with my dad. He was always a real estate investor, and had a bunch of different investments that he did and showed me how to do from young. So it was inevitable that I would have got into real estate. So that's a little bit of background about me.
Wow. Well, some I knew about, but some I did not. I did not know about the bakery aspect. I knew about your financial business. I didn't know about the real estate investing. So, wow, that's amazing that you're able to do all of that, and you make it look effortless. You
Oh
make it
my
look so
God.
good.
Yes, thank you
Wow.
so much. But I have help. I have help. I
Okay.
am no longer the solo entrepreneur, the
Okay.
solopreneur that I once was, which was fun because I always had something to do, right? And then it was at the stage of my kids are growing, so they don't need me as much. Like they need me, but they don't need me as much, like hands
Right.
on all day. You know, I'm boggled down with kids. So I'm able to maneuver and pivot through the different genres of business.
Wow, that's excellent. And that's definitely encouraging for people who feel like you can't, do it. Yes, you can. You can juggle family and you can juggle your businesses, but you have to be intentional and you have to have a plan. And so it
Yes.
sounds like you definitely have a plan. So let's just get right into it. Why do
Yes.
you believe public speaking is a crucial skill for business professionals today?
So it's interesting about that question that you asked me, right? Because I feel like in order for you to be a business owner, you have to be your own spokesperson. You have to have a 30-second elevator pitch. You have to be ready for somebody to invest in your dream if you don't have the money to bootstrap or if you don't have the credit to fund your business, right? Even if it's a job that's funding your business, you still have to be that person that is out there pitching for contracts, pitching for speaking engagements, pitching for to speak in front of a group of individuals that you don't know, because everybody that's supporting your business is not going to be somebody that is your family member, your friend, or just a referral, right? It's not just about having a website. You have to make me understand, like you didn't know some things about me, and we've interviewed before, we talked, you know what I'm saying? Not
Right.
all the time, but it's
Yeah.
still some background about me that you didn't know, right? To make you feel like, oh, all right, so this is why she's such a well-rounded entrepreneur. This is how she's able to pivot so easily. But definitely when you think about speaking up for your business and public speaking, you have to be the number one spokesperson, because you have to also encourage your team, right? I mentioned earlier about I'm no longer the solo entrepreneur. That's how I'm able to do an interview in the afternoon. That's how I'm able to make myself free, right? I'm able to step away from working in the business all the time and go ahead and work on a business. And this is a part of working on a business, public speaking.
Wow. Yeah. And I'm so glad you brought that up because, yes, being a spokesperson for your business, that's your top responsibility, because if you don't advocate for your business, nobody else will. So you have to be your number one cheerleader, your number one fan, the fan club president, if you will. You have to be the
Yes.
one in charge, because nobody's gonna love or represent your brand like you do. And
Not
even if
only
we
that,
have,
you have to
yeah,
teach other people what type of culture you're building in your business, right?
right,
Everybody builds businesses for different reasons. Some people may be
yes,
building a business to pass it down from generation to
hmm,
generation. Somebody might be building a business just because it's something that they like to do and they're
right,
going to do it until they retire. Some
right,
people are building a business so they can sell it, right? And turn
yeah,
themselves into instant millionaires. That's still a
yeah,
conversation of generational wealth if you build
yep,
it and sell it for a couple $1,000,000 that you didn't have, right? So you're
right.
still changing the trajectory of your family's life just because you're the spokesperson for your business.
Exactly. And I'm glad you said that you have to teach people how to represent your brand, your business,
Yep.
because this is your legacy. No matter how you spin it or what you choose to do with it, it's your responsibility to make sure that you put it out there, because you are the face of the brand. And you don't want to have your brand come across as something that's unsure, something that's weak, or something that's not, credible. You want to have confidence and be able to represent and articulate what your business is. And how earlier you mentioned the elevator pitch, that is so important, and that's a
Mhm.
part of what we'll discuss in the speakers boot camp. Because if somebody's riding the elevator with you in that short period of time from going between those floors, you should be able to articulate the main meat and potatoes about your business,
Yep.
and enough to have them want to know more, enough for them to want to call you or follow up. So we just have to get comfortable with speaking, knowing our story, feeling comfortable sharing our story, and being able to articulate that about our business. So those were excellent responses.
Thank you.
So can you share a personal experience where effective public speaking significantly impacted your career or business?
Absolutely. So it brings me to the first time that I spoke on a stage, right? And it was like after COVID, it was like everybody just coming out. It was like one of those, it just felt like a coming out party, right?
Okay.
And it was my first time as a speaker. And I feel like to me, I wasn't prepared, right? Because I've always just gone on, okay, I'm gonna just pray, let the Lord give me the words of what I'm
Mhm.
supposed to say. And I just winged it. I always winged it. I've never felt like, okay, I have to have notes and I have to stay on track in the past, right? So that experience made me feel like, oh yes, you need to get your iPad, you have to have your notes, you have to have your talking points, you have to know exactly what you want to drive home, you have to know what your call to action is, or your goal after this speaking engagement. What type of leads are you trying to generate from this speaking engagement, right? So it brought me to, okay, that was my first time, but I mean, everybody in the audience felt like I did well, but typically we're critical of ourselves, right? We're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I could have said this, I could have did this, I could have answered that better, I could have,
Right.
like in me winging it, I wasn't thinking about all of the coulda, shoulda, wouldas, right? I just thought
Right.
about, I know my stuff. I'm going up here and do my thing because I know my stuff. And the
Mhm.
stuff that I'm talking about is my stuff, right?
Right.
I'm
Right.
talking about money, I'm talking about credit, I'm talking about finances. And it's like, any question you bounce back on me about any of these topics, I'm able to answer. But
Right.
as far as like speaking, I feel like I didn't do well compared to what
Mhm.
I've done up until now.
Wow. Well, that's a good experience because, like you said, it was after COVID. And of course, we were all in a different mindset after that. But
Right.
it gave you an opportunity to reevaluate yourself. And so
Yeah.
that's one of the tips or things I encourage people in the boot camp and just in general record yourself speaking. So
Yes.
that way you can see what you're doing, you can hear yourself, and that way you can critique it and maybe even share it with somebody else so that they can critique it. And
Right.
even when you're getting ready for a speech or a talk, the best thing you can do is practice. Practice
Practice,
makes
practice, practice,
right.
practice talking loud, practice
Right.
projecting, practice your words. If you, especially, and I want to say this, I'm gonna get into it later, but I want to say this too, especially if you're using resources like AI, right?
Right.
And it's words that you haven't used, or that you don't use conversationally with your friends or colleagues all the time. Make sure that you practice your answers, practice your speech, practice the frequently asked questions that might come up. Practice, you know what I'm saying? Keep staying on time, right? So all of that
Mhm.
matters
Oh,
when
yeah.
you're going up to, you don't want to be too short. If somebody gives you 15 minutes and you do 5, it's like you did the engagement of this service, or you cut something short, and you may
Right.
have gotten everything out in the impact. But sometimes when we're speaking, we start to speak fast, or we feel like, let
Right.
me just get this over with, and you're looking for the timekeeper, they're not out there. It's so many things, the logistics that can
Mhm.
go right or wrong, right? And it's pros
Right.
and cons, and it's there for you to go ahead and critique yourself. And for me, I always critique my mentees, my colleagues, my friends. I hear them saying like, or I hear them saying I hear them saying
Right.
the same word over and over, right? Because we like to say, oh, it was amazing, and it was this amazing, and we keep saying amazing. It's like, dang,
Same
I
word.
ain't said amazing all them times.
Right, right. But it's hard to catch it because again, we're in the moment
Yep.
and you don't see yourself. And so that's why it's always good to practice, like we just said, and to have an outside person to look at you and critique and give you some honest feedback because we all
Yes.
can improve. I like to say speaking is something that we all can do, but a public speaker is a skill. So we
Yes.
all have to develop that skill and sharpen it. And so we can always improve and get better. And the best speakers, people who do TED Talks, people who do all kind of conversations, they practice their talks. They don't just come out there and wing it. So I'm glad you said you saw where you used to wing it, but then you said, hey, I know I can
You
do
gotta
better
be
than this.
prepared.
And
Yes.
you
I'm better
improve.
than this. People
Right.
expect better, they expect more.
Exactly. And that's right. If you want your brand to be taken seriously, how you present yourself, how you talk, how you come into the public, how you're viewed, all makes a big difference. So that was excellent. So my third
Thank you.
question is, what are some common public speaking challenges that business professionals face and how can they overcome them?
Um, a few things. So everything is vanity, right? So we have to think about when we show up, how we show up, right? Your
Right.
appearance is everything. So if and nothing is wrong with, and I don't want people to take it out of context of feeling like, oh, I can't show up without makeup on, or I can't show up. But when you don't show up with makeup on a daily basis, right? So when I come to see you on a stage or at an event, I'm expecting you to go all out. I'm expecting you to have, like, for me, expecting photographers, videographers, like, capture that moment, because you don't get this moment every day, right? So
Right.
that's one. Make sure that your physical appearance is A1. I don't
Right.
care. Think about it like this. All the time when you get dressed, you just pick out something that you like, right?
Right.
But if you have a speaking engagement, maybe you should hire a stylist for
Mhm.
that particular speaking engagement, because that can help with your appearance. Because
Right.
we might wear the same old thing. I might wear a suit, I might wear a button down, I might wear a romper. That's my go-to, right? A jumpsuit or a romper is my go-to. So I'm
Yeah.
always going to pick that. But if I have a stylist, they might pick something else that might make it pop, and somebody's gonna
Mhm.
remember, oh, she had on that bling, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And her makeup was flawless, and she had that NOLA accent, right? It's so many different elements that people remember me from. And
Right.
it's one is appearance, two is my NOLA accent, and the third one is, oh well, I know she gonna have this, she gonna take pictures, she's personable, she's the same way she is online as she is offline. Like that's
Right.
another thing, making sure that when you, how you show up online is how you should show up offline. If you're so friendly and personable online, and then when you show up offline or in person, somebody's like, dang, I don't even won't follow her no more because she made me
Right.
feel this big, or she made me feel like I wasn't her cousin. Like I feel like her cousin on Instagram. I feel like that sister on Instagram. She always liking my stuff, but she
Mhm.
didn't even recognize me in person. Right. Like
Mhm.
that turns people off, or it could turn people on to you, or that can make people feel like, girl, go follow her, go follow Samantha, because I saw her at this brunch and she embraced me and we took pictures, and it's a whole, the experience of you should be the person, the thing that shows up every time, whether it's online or offline.
Wow, now you gave some good stuff that we got to unpack real quick. I love that you talked about the appearance because yes, people pretty much are judging you whether you want to admit it or not. So when people
Literally.
see you, they're already formulating an opinion about you
Hmm.
before you even open your mouth. So how you present, that first impression is a lasting impression.
It
So what am
is.
I giving off? And am I coming in the room confidently? Is my speech going to match how I look? So you have to make sure that you look the part as well
Yep.
as speak or talk the part. And then
Yep.
I like to also highlight you have to make sure you're wearing stuff that you're comfortable in because I noticed you said maybe get a stylist, and that's true. Get someone who can help you put together a look that's not only going to look very nice and polished
Hmm.
and set the stage and set the experience, but make sure you're comfortable in what you wear because the last thing you want to do is wear a skirt that's too short and you're pulling it the whole time, or you're checking this and you're checking that because you don't
Yep.
feel comfortable. So whatever you put on, you want it to look good, but you want to feel comfortable in it as well because that's going to all help with how you deliver the speech. Like you said, your makeup, your however you present yourself, and some people don't wear makeup, some do, but whatever it is, you want to give your best foot, your best appearance, because that's going to help with your confidence. That's going to help you
It is.
stand and sit a little taller because you look good, you feel
You feel
good,
good.
and you're going to talk and sound good. So it's all
Yep.
tied in together. And then I want to touch on, I'm glad you brought up about being the same online as you are offline. And I think that's so important. And the example
Yes.
you gave was spot on. I literally was following this person in Charlotte. She's like a travel kind of, blogger slash, influencer. And she had an event that she was highlighting. And so I specifically went to the event because I knew she was going to be there. And so when I got to the event, let me tell you, I was so turned off by how she was. She was not very friendly. She did not engage with anybody. She kind of sat and talked with one person that I guess was her friend the entire night. And I was really disappointed because I would have not even known about the event if I
That
wasn't
she not
following
posted
her
it.
and had
Hmm.
seen it on her page. And the fact that she didn't even really try to talk. And I think I spoke to her and it was kind of like a hey, and it was kind of like she didn't want to be bothered. And so, like you said, people may want to stop following you. And that's what I did. I stopped following her because I was like, why am I going to follow a page with somebody who's not authentic? She
Hmm.
had all this, glitz and glam and was so friendly online. But in real time, when I met her, it was the complete opposite. And I was
Right.
caught off guard. And so, if anything, that was a wake up call to me to make sure that whatever I'm presenting, whatever I'm doing, I want it to match both. I don't want to be one way
Right.
online, all friendly, all helpful, and all things speakers boot camp. And then when you see me in public, I'm giving you a cold shoulder. And I get we have our off days and our on days, and sometimes people can be busy. But that event was like 3 hours, and I'm thinking like,
No, listen.
not even
One thing
try.
I learned in corporate is leave it at the door. So
Mm,
it does not matter if you cried all the way to the event. When you get to that event, you leave it at the door. And when you leave out of that event, if you want to cry all the way home, you can cry all the way home. Like literally, if I can be transparent, I was going through some personal stuff, and I just told you I haven't been online. This is like my first time online in like a month. Right? I
wow.
was going through personal stuff on
Mhm.
my own. I still had to show up. I still have to represent the brands. People still depend on me. I still had mentee meetings. I still have post schedule. You know what I'm saying? You still
Mhm.
have to show up because it's not about you. You have to remove yourself, right? And that's one of those things that's like it's super hard because we're human. We
Right.
have emotions. We have, like you say, we have off days. We have personal stuff going on. But I'm a true advocate of, I'm always saying, my dog died too, right? And when I say that, it's not to discredit what you have going on in your life. It's
Right.
not to say, oh, I got stuff going on too. It's not to say, it's listen, everybody to everybody, like we heard over and over and over, life is lifing, right? And that doesn't
Right.
always necessarily have to be a bad thing. It could be just overwhelm of life. It could be changes going on. It could be pivoting. It could be finances. It could be you lost your job, you don't know how you're going to fund your business from here. It could be so many different things going on, right?
Right.
But guess what? My dog died too. So the person across from you, dog died too. So you have to look at it both ways. So that's how I got myself out of the funk that I was in, right? And
Mhm.
also with prayers and support, and my support that matters. Like having people that can pray for you and that you can reach out to and say, look, I'm not okay.
Right.
I'm not good today.
Right.
Today's not a good day. Tomorrow might not be a good day. I don't know when the next good day is going to come. And
Right.
people are so used to me being so positive all the time.
Mhm.
I didn't want what transpired to turn me negative, if that makes sense.
Right. It
Because
does.
people, again, they know me from just being positive, a go getter, just always on go.
Mhm. Right. And sometimes as leaders, and I've heard this phrase and I like it, it says you have to lead while you bleed. And that was
Oh,
so profound for me because
that's good.
sometimes you're right, we all are going through stuff and it may not be visible. It may be internal struggles, personal things, but we still have to show up. We still have to lead.
Yeah.
People are still counting on us. People that we are here to serve and help still need what we have to offer. So sometimes we have to pack it up and, like you said, leave it at the door, or put that band-aid on and still press forward. And it's not to
Yeah.
negate our feelings and emotions, but to whom much is given, much is required. And we have to come to a higher level, and we have to sometimes go through more. But I feel like this as well, if God brought you to it, he can bring you through it. And
Yes.
so we have to be able to put it in perspective, take that time, like you said, cry, let it go, but still show up and still be our best selves, because at the end of the day, we don't want to hurt that client or hurt that person that was coming to follow us, or needing something from us that we were supposed to give them. So we still have to find that happy medium, but still being able to put it in perspective. And again, it should not be a drastic difference between who we are online and then who we are in personal real life,
Yes.
because
Authenticity is key.
yeah, it's so key. We got to be authentic, or it's going to show up eventually anyway. And whatever you built on that lie or built on that fake, esteem, is going to come, crumbling down. And we don't want that
Yes.
to happen. So my last question is, what is one essential tip you would give to someone looking to improve their public speaking skills?
Just do it. You have to try. Like you never know what you're missing out on if you don't try. So an essential tip is just try. Fail forward. Like do it and say, okay, I did it. I messed up. I can do better here. How can I grow from this? How
Mhm.
can I stretch myself even thinner? If you're already stretching yourself thin, stretch even thinner. Like try it anyway. All you
Right.
can do is say, I don't want to do this anymore, or how can
Mhm.
I um nurture this skill
Mhm.
that I'm trying to step into? How can I nurture this avenue that I'm trying to go down? Go to Speakers Boot Camp, right? She's giving y'all the resource on how can you enhance what it is that you're trying to do, whether it's online, whether it's building a Facebook group, whether it's building a community, whether it's something private, or whether it's something that's going to be public. You have to learn how to develop and nurture that skill. So
Wow.
just do
Thank
it.
Yeah, and I love it. And it's simple enough. Like Nike said, just do it. You gotta just do it. Some of us stay in the planning stage. We stay in the
Oh my
brainstorming
God.
stage. We just stay in
Forever.
the I'm trying, I'm trying, I'm trying. I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about that. When you just gotta get it done. Because I heard a phrase that said done is better than perfect.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you just got to just get it done. Of course, you're gonna make mistakes, and I keep using this example. iPhone did not just have one phone and that was it. They're at the 15th, 16th model, which means that they kept making improvements.
Yep.
Put it out there. They got feedback from their clients, and then they made improvements. So guess what? Whatever you do, your first speech is not going to be perfect. Your first podcast is not going to be perfect. Your first talk,
Right.
whatever you do, you're going to be a beginner. You got to start somewhere. Beyonce didn't blow her first performance out the water. She started out a part of a group, and then it went from
But
real
she
time, I think,
practiced.
to
Mm-hmm.
Destiny's Child to now, Beyonce, who she is now. But
Hmm.
that took time, that took effort, that took practice, that took intentionality. So we just got to get out of our own way, get out of our head, and stop worrying about what people think, because people are going to always talk and have something to say. But a lot of times the people talking aren't doing anything. So don't let a bunch of talkers who are sitting back watching you dictate what you do. You got to get out there and just do it.
Three things. Okay, one, you mentioned Apple. So of course we all have Apple products. We got iPhones, we got Apple Watches, we have all of these Apple products, right? We know, like, and trust that brand. So
Mhm.
you have to build a brand that your audience knows, likes, and trusts. The
Right.
second example you gave was Beyonce. Beyonce didn't come out as Beyonce. She's always been Beyonce, right? But she went through the group, she went through acting, she went through the clothing merchandise stage, and now she's developing hair care. So
Hmm.
it doesn't matter what she does, she at least tried. So
Right.
always take that tip when I that's what I got when you reference Beyonce. And
Hmm.
when you reference Apple, everybody has some type of Apple product in their house, right? And
Hmm.
then the third thing that I wanted to, like, close out with was, because you sit around people or you talk to people, maybe in your circle, maybe online, maybe your friends, family, cousins, spouse, whomever, right? And they have never done the thing that you want to do, they can hold you back from doing what it is that you want to do, because you're always sharing. One of the things that I've learned over this period of taking a break from social media and the world and all of those things, I've learned that whatever I think is good, that's good enough, right? And I can critique it on the way up. I'm gonna drop the parachute on the way down, or whatever, however that go, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So my whole thing is, if I got the idea, I'm gonna figure the idea out through and through, and then I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna say, "Oh, babe, what you think about this? Oh, children, what you think about this? Oh, colleagues and friends." On
Mhm.
some things, yes, I do, but on most things, if I know it in my mind that this is what I want to do, I'm gonna do it. And so that it brings me back to my last answer, which is just do it, just try it.
Right. And what I'm getting from that is trust yourself. We
Yes.
know what we want to do, but a lot of times we allow other people's opinions, other people's fears hold us back. And
Mm-hmm.
we can't do that. It's nothing wrong with getting wise counsel. Notice I said wise. But
Wise.
make sure whoever you're getting counsel from, make sure that they know what they're doing. Because I think I read a phrase somewhere that says, don't get constructive criticism from somebody who's never constructed anything. You're getting advice
Literally.
from people who
Literally.
ain't doing nothing. So make sure whoever you listening to or talking to, that they got the receipts to prove that they can give you advice. Because why am I getting money advice from somebody who is in bankruptcy or who barely got money in their bank account?
Mm-hmm.
We got to really check our resources and our sources of where we're getting information from, because a
Right.
lot of times these people don't want to see you flourish. They want to hold you back. They want to make you stay at this level. And so we can't do that. We got to just do it, believe in ourselves, trust ourselves, and give it our best shot, because basically holding back is not doing nothing for anybody.
Nope.
I'm not helping the people who are called to me, and I'm not helping myself. And I know for sure I want to leave a legacy. I
Yes.
believe that my Speakers Boot Camp is just the beginning. I'm launching an actual Speakers Academy September 9th. So Model Speakers Academy is on the way, because I believe communication is key.
It
And
is.
a lot of our problems can be solved if we all just communicated better with one another. And so I really am passionate about speaking. And I even grew up, I had stuttering problems, growing up. I spoke real fast and I still speak fast, but I learned
Mm-hmm.
the tips through a speech pathologist,
Mm-hmm.
helped me to become a better speaker. And now
Right.
I enjoy speaking. I enjoy being able to talk and share my message. And so I want to share that passion with others. So that's why, again, I'm really excited about my Speakers Boot Camp. And I really hope people will join. It starts tonight. And even if you can't come one of the nights, each session is going to be recorded. So you will be able to have access to all of the information. So you really, really should join the Speakers Boot Camp. And if you know somebody who can benefit, then share it. And I said it on my other live I did earlier with Lily Mae, that it's for people of all ages. If you have a high school student or a college student who needs help with their
Right.
public speaking or communicating, then they can join the Speakers Boot Camp as well, because we need communication in every aspect of our lives. We'll never get to a point where we arrive and we don't need to brush up on those skills or practice or just become better. So I
Yes.
definitely want to encourage that. And Dricka, do you have anything else you want to share, or let us know what you have going on, or how we can follow and stay in contact with you?
Absolutely. So the last thing I wanted to say, when you said you want to leave a legacy, I want to charge you to not just leave a legacy, but to live a legacy, right? So just show up authentically as you have been doing continue to nurture your skills and grow your business. I'm so proud of you. I want to give you your flowers. The things that I have coming up, I don't have it. Somebody else is hosting it. Gemma Boham Carter is hosting an AI summit.
Okay.
Okay. It's a 5-day AI summit. It's to help you learn how to incorporate AI in your business, but make it in your voice and your tone, and how it can help you without paying another person to
Right.
do. You know how us a lot of times we pay VAs, we pay so many assistants and people that's, people that we can bounce ideas off of, or people that can run our companies supposedly better than us, right? You can use AI to replace some of those things, but that's what the summit is all about. It's 57 speakers all
Wow.
together over those 5 days, starting next week. You can get free tickets now. I did drop the link on my Instagram earlier today, so just grab the link and sign up for free. If
Hmm.
you want to get the replays, then that's, additional cost. I think there's an early bird fee of like $67 if you want the replays.
Okay.
Other than that, join the AI speakers summit that's coming up, and then just follow me on all platforms. Dricka M Carter. I'm on YouTube. I have a podcast called Comma Convos that interviews artists, entrepreneurs, and CEOs about their struggles on their way to success. And then we have so much other stuff coming up. Just follow me. I'm very social on social media. So I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, hey, girl. And, when we get in public, we can't toast and cheers, right? We can do all of the things. I take pictures. I got selfies.
Mhm.
I'm that girl. I'm definitely going to get a picture with you. We could just meet and be like, we got to take a picture.
That's right. That's right. And you are, because we met in New Orleans and we've talked before. And definitely, you all, what you see is what you get. Drika is a sweetheart. She
Thank
knows
you.
her stuff, but very friendly, down to earth. Because just because you're an expert doesn't mean you have to have an edge or an air about yourself. You can
Hmm.
be confident without being cocky. So
Yes.
definitely, you know how to do it well. So
Thank you. Thank you.
thank you so much for this talk, and I hope everybody enjoyed and learned a lot. Again, this was the last conversation in my series of talks that I started literally the Sunday after the Essence Festival in New Orleans. And so I've had a great time meeting these women. So if you missed any of these conversations, please go back down my page on Facebook and scroll up, because I think this is like my ninth conversation that I've had, and each has been good. Each has been dealing
So
with
good.
public speaking and business, and every woman has brought a different point of view or a different perspective. And so you're going to definitely glean a lot and learn a lot. So again, I want you to sign up for the boot camp. It's not too late. Sign up. It starts 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. You sign up. I'll send you the information to get you plugged in, because guess what? We all can communicate better, and we have the tips and tools right at our fingertips, but we just got to make the choice, make the decision to be better. And once we do that, the sky's the limit. So again,
Yes.
thank you, Drika. I appreciate it. Everyone, make sure you follow her. Make sure you sign up for that AI virtual summit, and definitely sign up for my speakers boot camp. That's all I have for today. Enjoy the rest of your